Well, hello and welcome. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 89th annual membership meeting of Shenandoah Valley Electric Cooperative. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 89th annual membership meeting of Shenandoah Valley Electric Cooperative. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Allison, and I will guide us along our meeting this evening. Again, good evening and welcome everyone to the 89th annual membership meeting of Shenandoah Valley Electric Cooperative. Thanks so much for joining us. Tonight's meeting is being recorded and will be posted on our website. If you have questions for the SVEC board or staff at any time during this call tonight, you may press 0, and one of our operators will assist you in taking your question. We'll take your questions a little bit later in the call. First off, though, I want to recognize your elected board members who are together for this meeting. We have our board chair, Jerry Doffelmeyer from Page County. We have our vice chair, Todd Van Horn from Frederick County. We have our secretary-treasurer, Brent Arbogast from Rockingham County. We have Dr. Conrad Hulsley from Shenandoah County. We have Larry Howdyshell from Augusta County. We have Robbie Marchant from the city of Winchester. And Suzanne Obenshane from Rockingham County. We have Bill Orndoff from Frederick County. Brian Plum from Page County. And finally, we have Steve Burkholder, Director Emeritus from Rockingham County. Also joining us tonight are select SVE staff, and we have corporate attorney Hannah Hutman. All right, now I'd like to announce the 12 randomly selected winners of a $250 bill credit. All of these are co-op members, and they are Colors LLC of Luray, Charles and Carol Smith of Bridgewater, Roland Buchanan of Staunton, Barbara Horstmeyer of Fort Valley, Wayne Grant of Hightown, David Davis of Morrietown, Nicholas and Morgan Cornwell of Winchester, Patricia Stuhler of Cross Junction, Donna Jean German of Mount Sidney, Vijay and Bamakadan Patel of Winchester, John Raines of Mount Crawford, and Peggy Eppard of Penn Laird. Staff will follow up with each winner individually regarding this bill credit. Congratulations to those 12 randomly selected winners. All right, I will now ask our Vice Chair, Todd Van Horn, to provide a moment of reflection as we begin our business meeting.
Thank you all for joining tonight. Please bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for another beautiful day and for allowing us to come together for this meeting. Please help us guide our work as a team to focus on the greater good of everyone involved in our organization and community. Please continue to make this a safe work environment so we may conduct our business this evening and every day in the best manner possible. Thank you for your many blessings, and please guide our organization to do your will. Amen. Amen.
Thank you so much, Todd. Once again, if you have questions tonight, please press 0 on the keypad on your phone to be placed in the queue with your question. At this time, I'd like to introduce SVEC Board Chair Jerry Doffelmeyer to call the meeting to order.
Thank you, Allison. Good evening, everyone. I am Jerry Doffelmeyer, Chair of the Board of Directors. To help move the meeting along as Chair, I'll accept motions and seconds on the usual routine matters from board members, because they are present in the room with me. Everyone attending by telephone can vote on motions by pressing 1 on your phone for yes or pressing 2 for no at the appropriate time. I now call this 89th meeting of the Shenandoah Valley Electric Cooperative to order. I call on Brent Arbogast, our Secretary-Treasurer, to verify the meeting's quorum.
The total cooperative membership as of May 29th, 2025 was 83,260 members. Article 3, Section 4 of the Cooperative's bylaws state that 2.5% of the total number of members present in person or represented by proxy shall constitute a quorum for the annual membership meeting. Also, under state law, members casting ballots online are deemed present. This 2.5% of the membership at the applicable time means 2,082 members need to be present or represented by proxy. As of 4:30 p.m. Tuesday, August 5th, which was the cutoff for the annual meeting registration, the number of members registered or voting online for the director elections was 540, and the total members represented by a valid proxy were 3,456. As a result, 3,996 members are recognized as attending this meeting, and therefore a quorum exists. Survey and Ballot Systems is the company that has handled the logistics for the meeting, including the meeting notice, proxies, and balloting. The cooperative has in its possession a certificate from that company stating that on June 23rd of this year, it mailed the official notice of the 2025 annual members meeting as required by Section 4 of Article 3 of the cooperative bylaws. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Brent. I now call for the reading of the full notice of the meeting that was included in the materials mailed to all members, as Mr. Arbogast described. Or is there a motion to dispense with the reading of the notice?
I move that the cooperative dispense with the reading of the notice of this meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second from members of the board who are with me at headquarters. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all members in favor signify by pressing 1 on your phone. All members opposed, press 2. I can view the results of the telephone voting on a monitor here in this room. The motion carries. I now call for the reading and approval of the minutes of the 2024 annual meeting. A copy of these minutes has been available on our website for several weeks. Is there a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes and approve them as presented?
I move that we dispense with the reading of the 2024 annual meeting minutes and approve them as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second from members of the board who are with me at headquarters. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all members in favor, press 1 on your phone. All members opposed, press 2. Again, I can view the results on the screen here in our meeting room. Motion carries. As a reminder, if you have a question for the SVEC board or staff, please press 0 at any time during this telephone meeting and someone will assist you. Okay. On behalf of the Board of Directors, welcome once again to SVEC's annual meeting, the 89th annual meeting in our history, as the first electric co-op chartered in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I am Jerry Doffmeyer, chair of SVEC's board from beautiful Page County. I hope to see some of you at the Page Valley Fair later this month. That's one of the key benefits of the cooperative setup. As with the other directors, I'm fortunate to work alongside at SVEC. We all live here in the Shenandoah Valley. We are responsive to your needs because, well, let's face it, we see you everywhere and you see us. An electric cooperative such as SVEC thrives on that local connection. As board members, when we're not reviewing complex policies and contracts, we're next to you at the Ruritan or Rotary Club or serving on various local boards and commissions, bringing leadership roles to the table at SVEC. As linemen, when they're not climbing poles, they're in the stands with you cheering on the local Little League team or attending the demolition derby. As member service representatives, when they aren't helping you with your account, they are next in line to see you at the store or walking around the park. I've been truly blessed to be a lifelong Page County resident. which means I've seen my electric service provider change in my lifetime. We haven't always had the same local connection from top to bottom and the same high quality of service that shines so much from the co-op today. Shenandoah Valley Electric Cooperative has improved my quality of life. I'm thankful that co-op members have shown faith in me to represent them on this board to play just a small role in keeping that local connection going. Thank you all for participating with us this evening. I'll now turn things over to our President and CEO, Greg Rogers.
Thank you, Jerry. As been stated before, if you have general questions for us during this meeting, please press 0. The annual meeting can serve as a temperature check, so to speak, on where things stand with the cooperative. It's important to emphasize that everything we do is in the best interests of you, our more than 83,000 members, and to stand by our mission of providing safe, reliable electricity at the best possible value. At the end of the day, and as simply as I know how to put it, we recognize you want your lights to come on every time you flip the switch. And you want the cost of turning on those lights to be as affordable as possible. As a not-for-profit cooperative, we're right here. We're right there with you. We do not want to incur any additional costs than what is necessary to operate our business. In fact, if we earn more than we spend, we return funds to you as capital credits. And I promise you, we want your lights on as much as you do. Our employees, including our linemen, whose job it is to climb the poles, run the wires, hang the transformers, they live here and have kids who go to school here and care about this community. When we say we are the Valley's Electric Cooperative, that's because we are. We have a vested interest in seeing the lights stay on, not just because we work for the utility company, but because we live, work, and play here. Electricity is such an essential part of every industry in the Valley. Our economy cannot grow without it. SVEC's role in delivering this critical resource in a safe, reliable, and affordable manner is something we take very seriously. Now, as I said, it's an active time at the cooperative. To identify just a few examples of what's going on, we are on track to complete residential meter exchanges by the end of 2025. Our contractor working this project has about 6 employees on site exchanging meters. About 80,000 meters have been exchanged in total for the project. Closely related to this project is the development of a fiber optic cable network that connects our infrastructure. One of the largest benefits of this is our ability to better measure the demand for electricity on our system, and we can more accurately build and maintain our system based on this data. This will link our substations and distribution facilities more efficiently than ever before, enabling improved recognition of problems, faster communication, and improved physical and cyber security. We are exchanging poles at a record pace, not only for our fiber project, but also to assist other companies seeking to expand internet coverage throughout the Valley, who must rely on our poles to carry those cables. We are keeping up with the fast pace of major residential developments in many of the counties we serve. In the same way, we maintain positive working relationships with economic development representatives in the Valley, supporting efforts to grow. For our Page County members, we recently completed a major substation rebuild in Shenandoah to improve reliability in your area. There are more substations identified for improvements over the next several years. We are implementing new ways to survey our infrastructure for damage or potential issues, such as the use of drones. We are investing in and developing new advanced systems to assist our tried and true ways of keeping our right-of-ways clear of vegetation that may threaten our facilities. We continue to live out the cooperative principle of concern for community by, along with your help, giving out more than $30,000 in grant funds multiple times a year to area nonprofit organizations through our Operation Roundup program. And while all of these projects, among others, are ongoing, we continue to evaluate our back-end systems to determine the most effective tools for our employees to get the job done for you. I'm saving the best for last and mentioning our employees. A lot is being asked of them in today's fast-paced and changing energy industry. All of the buzzwords and topics that are out there, data centers, cybersecurity, green energy, are ones that we have a talented workforce to understand and manage, in conjunction with our industry partners at the state and national levels. At the end of the day, the job they do has led to a 99.9% system reliability for our members, with the average outage time throughout the entire year 8 hours per member, including major storms. We know that's what matters to many of you. Thank you once again for participating in our annual meeting. And again, if you have any general questions for us during this meeting, please press 0. And now we will hear from our attorney, Hannah Hutman, for a discussion of SVEC bylaws.
Thank you, Greg. Bylaws are the internal rules under which a cooperative, such as SVEC, operates. They tell who can be a member and the rights and duties of the members. And they set out the logistics for the annual meeting of members. The bylaws also cover the election process for the board of directors and how the board members govern and the CE operates the cooperative. The board of directors modifies the bylaws from time to time as the need arises and seeks ratification of the recent changes at the annual meeting. Since last year's annual meeting, there were only 2 minor amendments made to the bylaws. One amendment clarifying the requirements for membership, and while the second notes the process to transition the board from 10 to 9 directors, all serving 3-year terms, has been completed. As always, a copy of the bylaws is available on the cooperative's website. I will now turn things back over to Mr. Doffelmeyer.
Thank you, Ms. Hutman. We recognize that the ratification of bylaws is a topic that may require discussion among members. If you have any questions based on what Ms. Hutman just shared, please press 0 now, and you will have an opportunity to discuss the topic of bylaws specifically live on air here momentarily. All other questions will be answered after we address bylaws. Although the board has the duty to keep the bylaws up to date, it has been customary for members to ratify the changes from year to year. Do I hear a motion to do that as to the changes the attorney described?
I move that the bylaws as they now stand be ratified and approved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to ratify those changes. Is there any discussion? We will pause briefly to allow for any members on the phone to finish submitting questions they may have in relation to bylaws. Seeing that there are no questions on the line and hearing no discussion in the room, all in favor of the motion, please press 1 on your phone now. All opposed, please press 2. I see the results here. Motion carries. At this time, is there any new business to come before the membership? Hearing none in the room, I would like to turn it over to Allison to moderate any new business from the members or facilitate any questions they may have at this time.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We're just going to go in order, but as a last reminder here, if you do have a question for the SVEC board or the staff on any item of new business, just press 0 on at any time during this telephone town hall meeting, and we will assist you. But let's get started with Jeff, who came in first. Jeff in Winchester, you're live right now. Please go ahead.
Yes, hello, good evening. I just wanted to review your policy. I had a fraud check come into my bank account that was being used for auto pay, and it got caught in the gap of payment to the electric company versus me getting it corrected and getting the auto pay corrected. And I got a letter from my bank, maybe Federal Credit Union, but because it was not signed, which is their policy not to do a wet signature, just to put out a boilerplate letter, the customer service rep said that it would not be honored, and I would still face the $32 charge for penalty. So I just thought it wasn't quite right that I should be penalized twice for a fraud that I was not involved in. Over.
Thanks, Jeff. We appreciate that question. We always appreciate the feedback on stuff like this. These types of situations are best handled directly, which it sounds like you are working with us, but certainly as a general policy, we appreciate your input on this, and we do have to work hard to make sure that the information we get is validated by the bank, and so we'll certainly take your input here and make sure we factor that in as we go, and appreciate your question here. Most of the time it is the payment source that obviously is involved with the fraud, and the time frame it takes to turn around I understand is challenging, but it's important for us to verify before pulling funds out that that we have the right account. So again, appreciate your feedback, and please continue to work directly with our MSRs who can help you specifically with information regarding your account.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Jeff, for joining us on the line. Let's go right away. We have Stacy in Winchester who came in next. Stacy, you're live right now. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi. My name is Stacy. I was just trying to see about the upraising of the percentage and how much that would be, and how do you divide that and minus and subtract that to how you get the amount of your bill and stuff like that?
Thank you, Stacy, for your question. I'm not sure exactly how to address your question. I would like to better understand it. So again, I hate to defer, but I would really prefer you call in, work with somebody who might be able to work more directly with your bill, have it pulled up on the screen, talk you through the different components and how they actually are affected by the things that happen out there, and make sure that we totally understand your question. I think best explained with the actual data in front of you of what you're seeing and what we're seeing, and in this format we can't do that. So we have your name here, and we'll make sure you get a call back to kind of discuss your count specifically in regards to make sure we get you the right information there.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Stacy. All right. Up next, we have Lynn, who came in. Lynn in Fort Valley. You're live right now. Please go ahead.
Hi, yes. My question is involving the extraordinary number of outages we've had in Fort Valley this summer and the quite lengthy outages that we've had. And I'm wondering, I'm certain that there is, a cost accounting comparing the cost of maintaining the lines and versus the cost of calling out your linemen in the middle of the night, on the weekend, because I know there has not been as much line maintenance done, and I was told by someone there that it's very expensive, but I also know that outages are expensive and fires from trees falling on lines are expensive, et cetera.
First of all, really appreciate your question. And yeah, I've been very, very familiar with the Fort Valley area, and they certainly experienced some outages over this summer. First of all, I'll assure you that we don't do a cost analysis when it comes to outages. We do the appropriate maintenance, and we don't accept the fact that outages occur as a cost cutting measure through the process. We do look at what causes the outages and make sure we take the appropriate maintenance to make sure that things get rectified, but there isn't a level of outage that we accept that will offset the call of calling the people out in the middle of the night and go correct that. And frankly, I would prefer our people not be out in the middle of the night having to do that work. So we continue to focus ourselves on good maintenance, whether it be tree maintenance or line maintenance. In this particular case, the crews actually took on 2 different types of patrols. We did foot patrols in that area, which is walking pole to pole, trying to identify areas of intermittent problem that might turn into permanent issue. And we also used drones to patrol the area as well. We did find some individual things, and they none of them really tied together, so they were kind of just a rash of things that happened in different parts of the feeder that ended up taking the whole feeder out, and we continued to work on that. I know that it's diminished recently, but I do apologize that there was a couple of months there where it was fairly dramatic, and please know that our folks were spending a lot of their days out there making sure that they go find the things. But in general, we continue to do good maintenance programs on our system, and we would not accept outages as a cost-cutting way to eliminate any kind of maintenance on the line. I really appreciate both your patience and your question.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Lynn. Okay, we have Carl up next in Stevens City. Carl, you're live right now. Please go ahead. Carl, are you there? Do you maybe have us on mute?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead.
There
you are, Carl.
You. Yeah, I may be totally off base here, but I was checking on the future of wind and solar versus clean coal, natural gas, or nuclear energy for our section of Virginia.
Okay, Carl, thank you for your question. Shenandoah Valley Electric Cooperative is your distribution service cooperative, so we provide the service from the substation to your individual homes and businesses that we have out there. We don't directly supply the energy that comes into those systems that we distribute to you. However, we are part of Old Dominion Electric Cooperative, which is the entity that supports securing that power and energy for us. And I will tell you, in the environment that we're in now with growing loading out there, we are in a all of above type of scenario. We need all sources that are available. We specifically need sources that are dispatchable and can be called on at times of when they're needed to match the load. Obviously, coal, gas, nuclear, all those types of dispatchable. However, the wind and the solar add and continue to help offset some of the needs that exist out there. So I would say we would not turn our back as a general industry on any source, but our focus would need to be in the coming years on the dispatchable sources of generation to make sure that when the power is needed, we have the power available. So, again, I think it takes all of them, but we would continue to focus on those things that would provide the best control as an industry. As Shenandoah Valley Electric Cooperative or Distribution Cooperative, we don't do any of that directly, but we do help stay in touch with the industry as well, and certainly influence that to best support affordable and reliable electricity being supplied to you as our end member.
Great. Thank you so much, Carl. All right, and up next, last question we have in the queue is Melissa in Elkton. Melissa, you're live right now. Please go ahead with your question.
Yes, I was wondering how difficult it would be for Shenandoah Electric to expand into internet.
Thanks, Melissa. I appreciate that question, and yeah, we've looked at that over the years. We did a fairly in-depth study back in the early 2020 time frame. We have a footprint as Shenandoah Valley Electric Cooperative that has a wide disparity of some of our territory has 2 and 3 and 4 competitors in that area. Other people have, as you point out, probably here, do not have service in their area. So we do our best to support those entities out there that provide that service through, as I mentioned in my remarks, the pole replacements and things that we do to help support those companies. However, our main project for the fiber is for our infrastructure to try to make sure that we keep your electric service reliable and affordable. So we do have some of that out there, and where there is excess fiber in the fiber that we put up, we make sure that that is known to be available to folks who may want to use that. But our focus continues to be on the electric side of the cooperative, and then to best support those that have that as their business model to provide internet service. Thank you for your question.
Yes, thank you so much, Melissa. And we have Sam now in Verona. Sam, you're live right now. Please go ahead with your question.
Yes, I was wondering if you could provide some feedback on the effectiveness of the Beat the Peak program this summer. We signed up and tried to participate as best we could, and I was just wondering how effective it was, if you could comment on that.
Yeah, the summertime area, or the summertime time frame from June 1st to September 30th is when the energy costs are at its highest. And so the participation we get in Beat the Peak is absolutely critical, because every kilowatt watt we can reduce during those periods of the highest usage has a huge impact on the average cost of electricity that we can provide our members. And so for those members that are willing to, identify when we are in a peak scenario and take action when they can to help reduce their electric usage, have a broad impact for everybody at the cooperative in trying to keep that cost down. So we appreciate and we continue to support all the Beat the Peak efforts. It's hard to recognize in a system like ours when somebody doesn't turn something on, but we know that when we put those alerts out and we see that drop in the usage, that it is having effect out there. And certainly we want people to be comfortable. We want you to use electricity as you need to maintain your lives. But if you can do without it, delay the use of washing a dishwasher until later, delaying dryer and washer usage until later in the evening or earlier in the morning, depending on the time of year. All of those things have a surprisingly huge impact on the cost of electricity. So, Sam, we certainly appreciate your participation, and I assure you it has a huge benefit to not only you as a member, but to all the members of the cooperative. So thank you for participating, and thanks for your interest in trying to understand how it's helping. I appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely. So important, especially timely in this seat we've got. All right, thanks, Sam, and thanks to each of our members who called in with questions this evening. Great participation and conversation. At this time, I will turn the floor over to our attorney, Ms. Hutman, to give us the election results.
Balloting and director elections opened on June 23rd and ran through this past Monday, August 4th. I received the official ballot report yesterday from Survey and Ballot Systems, the company that has handled the ballot logistics. This year, our cooperative members have chosen as directors from Augusta County, Larry Howdyshell, from Frederick County, Todd Van Horn, and from Page County, Brian Plum. They were each incumbent directors who sought re-election to the board and was unopposed. There were no co-op members who submitted the required documents to run against them. Thanks to the Qualifications Committee for its work this year. Those members are Tim Price, Chris Sherman, and James Wanger. Mr. Doffelmeyer?
Thank you, Ms. Hutman. We thank you all for spending the evening with us, and I now ask for a motion to adjourn this annual membership meeting.
I move that the meeting be adjourned.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion to adjourn, please press 1 on your phone. All opposed, press 2. Again, I do have a monitor, and the motion did pass. Thank you again, and on behalf of the cooperative, I wish you and your family a safe and healthy rest of the year.